Medicaid. And so at the time the bill started in the House, they accommodated them and only limited the beds to 15 that can participate in Medicaid. So their request is they would like the other 25 certified Medicaid. And it's kind of ironic if it would take a former CEO to have to become a legislator to get something that makes sense done for the community. It's an explanation of the bill. I'll yield for questions. Saying that
resume.
Can
you put that on your resume?
Yes, thank you. Is there a motion?
Title sufficient to pass.
There's a motion, title sufficient to pass. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Good committee sub, I'm sorry. That'll be reported out. It's passing. Next is 2212 recipients of Medicaid extend postpartum coverage for up to 12 months. This is the exact same bill the Senate has passed 3 times earlier. Every member of this committee voted for the bill, passed it on the floor, and several of you were co-sponsors. This takes it from the postpartum care from 60 days to 12 months. That's an explanation. On your questions.
I have an amendment.
Go ahead with your amendment.
Hey, I think you added section, you actually put 28. I want to add, I would like to attempt to add 29, which would be amending 43-151 to revise Medicaid eligibility to include those individuals who are entitled to benefits under the Federal Patient Protection and Affordability Care Act 2010.
Sorry, I'm not going to accept that motion.
I thought you asked me or
I wanted to hear your motion. Any other questions? No, entertain a motion.
Title sufficient to pass.
Title sufficient to pass. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Senate Bill 2381, Medicaid authorized liquidated damages and request for proposals bring forward provision related to. Cody, do you want to speak on this?
So with this bill provision, request this bill, but we do.
Do you, how about explain a little bit of the history, why this is important?
So some of the concerns that Medicaid has had with a lot of its procurements tends to be the protest period. It's my understanding from Senator Wiggins that the reason he authored this bill is because he is aware of the frustration that Medicaid goes through because of the protest period. I would like to say for section 1, we already do a protest bond requirement where the division can do some costs regarding the protest. But section 2, it does bring up some things, especially the scoring of blind proposal. That the division does believe that the legislature may want to consider amendment 2. But again, some of the conversation that may be prudent to have Chairman Polk involved as involved. But I believe a lot of the purpose of this is just during our budget hearing, Chairman Wiggins did ask questions regarding cost of protests. Depending on the complexities of it, we may have to employ outside counsel to represent us. You've got multiple stages on this. One of them would be we award procurement. Then what you'll usually have is you'll get public records requests for the proposals. They can consider what the division did. That usually gets into litigation with all the parties on the table. We either have to wait till that is resolved or 90 days, or we can move forward with ruling. That further delays us awarding the contract, which then, after the bullet goes into committee, all this further delays, which usually leads to increased litigation costs and also puts us in a predicament where if we need to perform the services, we have to enter into emergency contracts until the whole process is resolved. But I think that is Chairman Wiggins' intent is to try and use this bill to ensure that all protests filed are legitimate protests. But at this time, we already do a protest bond in G section.
But it's sort of become a commonplace practice for the losing applicants to file suit and further delays, maybe a year, 18 months, millions of dollars in cost to the department.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, that it is becoming more and more common to have. And again, usually protests, based on my observations, they tend to be very incumbent friendly. Because when you do have a protest, you have to enter into the emergency contract. The question is, do you want to continue what you already have before implementing something that could possibly be alternative? So far, I'm not aware of one already.
Does anybody have any questions on the bill?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
So basically, section 1 in this bill is gonna, just saying that the entity that is doing the protest pay for all expenses, fees brought on the division, where it's resolved in the division's favor. So when somebody protests and it goes to court, and if they lose, they have to pay all the.
That's
They
correct.
currently don't have to do that.
That's my understanding. Is that correct, Cody?
It is how I read section 1. Again, the division did the draft this, but the one thing I will say with section 1 is more of a technicality is when it discusses liquidated damages tend to be a remedy under a contract. Yep. The legislature needs. There's a protest.
This is double referred to Judd A. and Senator Wiggins is the author and he's chairman there. So I guess he can clean it up there or probably better on the floor, give it time. Any motion?
Title sufficient to pass.
Title sufficient to pass. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? One no. Let that pass. Senate Bill 2656, specialty care facility for parole inmates. We passed this, I believe, last year. And not exactly sure why Senator Wiggins has asked to submit it again. Told he just bringing forward all the code sections in case they want to fix something. I'm not aware of what's broken, but that does, he just wants to bring it forward.
Motion.
There's motion title sufficient to pass. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Last one that'll be reported out. The last one is one we did last year as well, non-emergency transporters. And I believe in this one, the time frame. The department actually wants this, the NEMT certification or whatever. Is there a delay in that, Cody? All you want to do is extend it out one more year.
So with the NET bill, this was passed last year and created requiring a permitting process for non-emergency transportation. This is a service that is a mandatory service. There has been some delay in getting these drivers permitted where the Department of Health and Division and our vendor for permitted, but and I'm hoping that we could have the not too long one. However, the three parties do believe it is good to have a little.
So that's an explanation. All it does is extend it to July 1st, 2024. Any questions? This motion. Title sufficient to pass. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Work that out. Rise and report.
Okay.